Hello friends, I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic and wonderful. Everything here is great, other than allergies. Kicking my butt. We just got back from the last softball game of the season, and there was like a thunderstorm coming through and wind. Rain didn't happen. Tons of wind and tons of pollen in every orifice. So, I don't feel great, but we're going to talk anyway. Tomorrow, I have to go in to work, and I have to clean out my office because I got approved to work remote full-time. So, we talked a little bit about it last year, and now that I've had a full year and a few months now, a year and 3 months or something like that, working remote, I figured like I can finally talk about my experience because I did not trust myself to do this. I wasn't sure how I would handle remote work. I wanted to try it, and at the old work schedule was 5 days a week, but I was allowed to take 1 day a week to work remote. And so I took Wednesdays. So I would go Monday, Tuesday, work from home on Wednesdays, Thursday, Friday. And what I found out was Wednesdays typically ended up being one of my most productive days. And so a few of us in the office kept asking for, is there an opportunity for remote? And we were told no, we were told no, we were told no. When the new director came on, he canceled all remote positions. We used to have a couple of remote positions because people had left the state and they were allowed to maintain their positions, but he canceled all of those contracts. And so it seemed like I was never going to get the opportunity to try it with this company. And then, of course, this pandemic happens. And so I basically got forced into it. And at first, it was definitely a little weird. Part of the reason was I got sent home the beginning of March last year. And for us, we are an education services company. So March is kind of like the end of the school year. Like that's where it starts to die down, March, April, May. And so there wasn't a whole lot to do. And so I did a lot of busy work, but what I found was I had more opportunity to get projects done because in an office setting, when there's not a lot to do, there tends to be a lot of wandering halls and talking to people and visiting, and really nothing gets done. But at home, when there's not a lot to do, I assumed, me being me, that when there was not a lot to do, I would just slack off and just do whatever. But what I found was I did not want to jeopardize my position, so my slacking off was to work. Like I would do, work-related things, though they might have been tangential or might not have necessarily been needed. There were things that I could do. For instance, completely updating a website to Bootstrap, or rewriting back-end functions to make them a little bit more concise and clear. Like a bunch of the stuff that I wish I could do more regularly, I got done. And so the first few months were a little bit weird and a little bit we didn't really know where we were headed. But by the summertime, it all started to make a lot of sense. And since the summertime, I have been very busy. I've had a lot of projects. I've had a lot of professional development time. I've taken on a very large enterprise piece of software where I'm the sole developer. And what I have discovered is I am much more proficient working from home. Yes, I still get distracted. But the reason I didn't trust myself is I assumed that my at-home distractions would take up most of my day, because I would get up from my desk and pet the dog and then discover something needed done, or I'd play a video game. None of that happens. Yes, I do things throughout the day, but much less than I did when I was in the office. For instance, when things start going a little bit sideways, I will get up from the couch and I will do the dishes. So a chore gets done. and that takes 5 minutes, and then I sit back down and I get back to work. Whereas in the office, I would walk out, I would go get a cup of coffee, I would stop in somebody's office, I would chat for a little bit. By the time I got back, I'd already lost 20 minutes. So I'm saving time because the tasks that I do here to distract myself are pretty quick tasks that I want to get over because they're chores, you know. I've also discovered that I work just kind of whenever. I am always at my computer by 7:30. I'm usually actually sitting there at about 6:30, but I don't actually, quote, clock in. I'm salary, so I don't have to clock in, but I don't make myself visible to everybody else until 7:30, and I'm always there until 4. Those are my hours, right? I mean, I do it every single day, and I'm always available, I'm always reachable, and I don't mess around. I don't go do things, you know, because I feel like I have this freedom. If I have an appointment, I schedule time off for that. I don't just assume that I can go take an appointment in the middle of my workday and I'll work a couple extra hours later. I don't do that. The thing is, though, I do work a couple extra hours later because I feel like I didn't get anything done, and so I have to get it done. Or it's a quick thing that needs a fast turnaround, or, you know, I don't want to... I read the email because I had my computer on at 8 o'clock at night, and the way that I work is if I read the email and I don't do it immediately, chances are I'll forget in the morning, and then it'll be a couple days later and somebody's mad at me. So I'll read an email and be like, oh crap, I'll go take care of that real quick, and then I work an hour. Or I work usually every Sunday morning. I do little updates, I do little, you know, behind the scenes tasks for the big enterprise software because I know nobody's on using the system in that time in the morning, so I can get some things done on Sunday mornings. And what I've discovered is I get a lot more done in a shorter amount of time. And what I mean by that is I can really hyper-focus for, say, 6 hours a day and get all of my work done that I would normally take a couple of days to get done, you know. And so I'm getting a lot more turnover done. I'm getting a lot more product code written, and it's been really healthy. And so we are returning to the office July 1st. We were told that we could request work from home, and I did that, and I got approved. I have to have my office cleaned out by June 1st, which is Monday, or Tuesday, whatever day it is. And so tomorrow is the best day I have to get that done because I'm taking Friday off. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing that I'm going to be working from home. The way the company has it currently structured is it will be on a yearly review basis. It'll be based on your year-end review, and there is a potential that I could lose the privilege. And I understand that, and I'm totally fine with that. I don't foresee that happening because my team, we work really well together remotely. We all work on very kind of individual siloed projects, and so we can come together in the morning, have our little morning meeting, talk about what we're going to be doing for the day, talk about if there's anything I need help on, and then we go off and do our tasks. And it works really well for us. So I'm excited. Part of the reason I'm building the room on the other side here, finishing all that in, is because Em is also going to be working from home, we assume, full-time. So we need to have more office space. So that's going to be her space for, you know, all of her gaming and such, and then she can take over the bedroom office, and, you know, I'll move upstairs. It'll be a little bit of a shuffle, but just wanted to let you know. I think that remote work has been really good to me, and I did not trust myself. Let me know. Have you been a remote worker at any point? How has the last year gone when you were a remote worker, if you were? Did you find it to be good for you? I'm not necessarily a social animal, so I don't need to see people face to face in order to feel like a part of a team or whatever. A few Slack messages a day is really all I need. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is frantic. It is an adjective meaning frantic and frenzied. I love my work with a frantic and perverse love as an ascetic loves the hair shirt which scratches his belly. Gustave Flaubert, a French writer. Frantic. F-R-E-N-T-E-N-E-T-I-C. Frantic. So frantic and frenzied. Frenzied, frantic. Are those not the same thing? Like frantic and frenzied? Look, maybe one's a little bit more disheveled.